What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is your boy Darion coming to y'all live with another video. It is the Spotlight Raiders Talk. Shout out to all the subscribers that have subscribed to the YouTube page. If this is your first time ever being at our YouTube page, I would suggest that you subscribe and hit that bell button and get the latest news in all Raiders news. But we're here with another Raiders video, and in this video, this is going to be a little different with this video, knowing that a lot of Raider Nation has been talking about this guy, and that is wide receiver Lynn Bowden Jr., wide receiver from Kentucky. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders needed weapons at wide receiver, and could Lynn Bowden Jr. could be one of them? Me personally, Bowden Jr. is one of the most intriguing players who has been drafted that's going to be drafted in the 2020 draft, thanks to his versatile offensive skill set. And he started his career at wide receiver for Kentucky Wildcats before playing quarterback in the back half of the 2019 season in his junior year. So that's pretty interesting that he did play a little bit of quarterback as well. Now, this is just some general stats that we really have for Lynn Bowden Jr. Now, Bowden stands at 5'11". He weighs 204 pounds. In 2019, he helped Kentucky in the wide receiver variety of ways of offense, despite beginning a year at wide receiver, and he led the SEC in rushing with 1,468 yards and 13 touchdowns as a cherry on top, because this guy can really do it all. If what it's looking like here, he caught 30 passes for 348 yards and threw for 403 yards with a 47% completion percentage in his sophomore year. When he was just a wide receiver, he hauled in 67 passes for 745 yards. Now, there's just a few things that we just need to know about Lynn Bowden, just for y'all to get to know about him and his profile. Now, here are some quick notes that I did see about him: that Bowden has the experience to return kicks and punts at Kentucky. As a wide receiver, he operates primarily out of the slot. He has enough blocking ability for an NFL wideout. He isn't a precision route runner, but he knows how to make plays. He can make his money on short routes and yards after the catch, which a lot of our wide receivers didn't really do outside of Hunter Renfrow. He knew how to get the yards after the catch. That's why we want to go out and get CeeDee Lamb at number 12 and get him in the later rounds. But he doesn't have enough throwing ability for anything but trick plays, which Jon Gruden don't mind switching it up a little bit, doing a little bit of a halfback pass or a wide receiver pass, just one in the blue moon. But it'll definitely open up the offense having this type of player on our team. He has some similarities to Lamar Jackson in a running style, but less shifty and explosive. To have a little comparison to Lamar Jackson, that's not bad for me. You being compared to the NFL MVP, and you're coming out of the draft being compared to him, so that's definitely not bad, and that's just at a wide receiver position. He must play special teams and return kicks in the NFL. Is not good enough to only be a wide receiver. Reminds me of a Deshaun Jackson instance, knowing that Deshaun Jackson was a type of player that returned kicks and returned punts as well. Now, when it comes to a player comparison, I really can't say what a player comparison that he has, but Bowden doesn't fit any single player comparison to the NFL player. As a wide receiver, they'll say Tavon Austin is close, but despite the blazing speed Austin has, he currently averages less than 10 yards per reception. But both players aren't accomplished route runners and catch primarily in short passes. Bowden can be used as jet sweeps and gimmick screens just like Austin. Now, as a read option quarterback, think of less of a shifty Lamar Jackson, as absolutely isn't a threat to throw. But he runs well and he could do enough in the NFL, but he's not going to be able to do it on a consistent as Jackson because he isn't as explosive and he can't throw the ball unless it's a wrinkle type of play or as a trick type of play for him. But the question is, does he fit with the Raiders? Now, Bowden could fill the Dwayne Harris type of role, returning kicks and catching screens on offense. He also could be able to help the Raiders in short yardage and goal line situations as a read option quarterback. He won't be able to stay on offense unless head coach Jon Gruden is able to get creative with him. Now, the Raiders do have or need a slot receiver unless they intend to start going more with the 4 wide receiver sets. Now, overall, Bowden has the ability to be a real playmaker. in the NFL. But however, it's going to take some real creative offensive mind to get most out of him on offense, because he isn't a polished wide receiver. But Bowden is more of a gimmick type of player that Gruden hasn't shown he'll be able to maximize. The Las Vegas Raiders would be better off investing somewhere elsewhere unless he falls in a bit of the later rounds. Currently, he should go somewhere between the 4th and the 5th round, and that's where they have him prospect at. They have him projected at the 4th and the 5th round, which is not bad at all, knowing that the Raiders could definitely benefit from having him on the return and having him in 4 wide receiver sets. But it all depends on if Jon Gruden is willing to open up the playbook for this kid. Now, do I feel like the Raiders should go out and get him? Yes, I think we should. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having him as a special teams guy, getting him in the 4th or the 5th round, depending on if we did our needs in the earlier rounds. But at the end of the day, Lynn Bowden is a special type of player. He knows what he needs to do to get on a team, but I feel like he fits more of the Kansas City Chiefs for what I've heard in what I've read and what I've saw. It seems like he fits more of the Kansas City Chiefs, but at the same time, I don't want to give the Kansas City Chiefs no more weapons, because they are interested in Henry Ruggs as well. So I don't want to give them any more weapons, knowing they are in our division. I would love to see the Raiders go out and get as many weapons that you can get for Derek Carr. It doesn't matter if it's a slot receiver or a number 1 receiver we get in the 1st round. It doesn't really matter to me. At the end of the day, Lynn Bowden, I did your research. I did my research. I think you are a great player, and I think you might just fit the Raiders depending on what Jon Gruden wants to do with his offense. So let me know what you think about this video, Raider Nation. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. It's the Spotlight Raiders Talk, and I will see y'all in the next video.